Up, light bearers.
Keep the light shining. Keep the light shining.
Up, light bearers. Keep the light shining. And keep the light shining.
Up, light
Light bearers. Okay, so before we commence with the work of the day, we would have to take our LBA anthem, and this will be taken by the light bearers of Kuthumi Lodge, who have been on standby.
Let me light, keep it shining, in all His glorious rays. Let me light, keep it shining, in all His glorious rays. I will add my light to your soul light. Our light may be brighter in this world. I will add my light to your soul light. Our light may be brighter. Up, light bearers. Keep the light. Up, light bearers. Keep the light shining.
Up, light bearers.
Thank you very much, Light Bearers, Regional Monitor, and the Light Bearers Association Coordinator of Kuthumi Lodge for the LBA anthem. Distinguished fratres and sorors, beloved Light Bearers, you're welcome to day 2 of our Light Bearers Association Zonal Seminar. Yesterday was a beautiful one, and you know we had a team lecture by Frater Dr. Bimbo Oyedokun, which is today's youth in a changing world. That is the theme of the LBA seminar we are partaking in right now. And we also had a beautiful lecture from Frater Christian Idiodi titled The Role of Technology in the Global Job Market. So before we commence proper with today's event, permit me, for those of us who were not here yesterday, to bring to our notice our rules of engagement. All microphones will be muted by default to help minimize background noise in order to avoid fallback effects. Be mindful of your background as we are being viewed from all over the world. Limit distractions and avoid multitasking as much as possible. To ask questions and also comment, kindly utilize the Q&A section on your screen, or click on raise hand feature on your screen for you to be unmuted to ask the question or comment directly. Also note that in line with cybersecurity policy, anonymous questions will not be attended to. Like I explained yesterday, if your device do not have a name, we are sorry, we might not just entertain questions from you or comments from you. And in case we run out of time and we're unable to answer your questions, be rest assured we will respond to you via email. Don't forget also that we are live on Amok Nigeria, our YouTube channel. That reminds me, I suppose if all of us here subscribe to our YouTube channel, we'll be getting notifications on every session we have, whether it's the GSE forum or the CIROC or the Light Bearers online seminar or online events. You will get prior notification. So we are live on our YouTube channel and the link has been shared here in the chat area. Kindly share this link with our members who are unable to join us here. Also, if you are experiencing network glitches, you can also join us on the YouTube channel. Questions and comments from there will also be entertained. Thank you once again for joining us, and I suppose we'll all have fun today again. So, like yesterday, I had a co-moderator. So today, I will be joined by a young frater and a very active light bearer. He holds a bachelor's degree in sociology and anthropology from the University of Jos, Plateau State in Nigeria, where he was born and bred. His desire to help build lasting brands and support businesses led him into the marketing and strategic communication space, where he currently works as a PR, branding and communication strategist in Lagos, Nigeria. A peep into his personality will reveal to you a jack of many trades and, of course, master of most. Aside being a strategist, he is a writer, a social critic, a poet, and a rapper, as well as spoken word artist. And he goes by a stage name known as KY, just in case you hear me repeat KY every now and then. He started his journey in the Rosicrucian path right from the womb, as he was born into a Rosicrucian family, and have been through the ranks from junior order of torch bearers to adult membership, and has remained a member of our beloved order till date. After his induction into the LBA in 2011, he began to serve. He has served as the LBA chairman for Star of Peace Chapter, Jos, Plateau State of Nigeria, deputy chairman Northern Zone of the LBA, and is currently the chairman of the LBA in the Lagos Zone. Beloved light bearers, distinguished fratres and sorors, I present Frater Nonso Nnamdi. Welcome, KY, and over to you.
Oh, thank you very, very much for that very detailed introduction. While you were reading it, I was like, is she talking about me? Thank you very, very much. All right, so welcome everybody to day 2 of our webinar. So beautiful seeing all of us and our faces. In as much as we are here virtually, I'm still getting that feeling of Calabar, of we being in our various zones trying to shine our lights. All right, so we're not going to waste any time. Today is going to be a very interesting one. We have about 3 lectures, and these lectures are very practical ones that can be implemented right away. And on top of that, we have beautiful spoken word poetry that is going to be presented, and as well our Worthy Grand Administrator is also going to be with us. So, and you really don't want to miss any of this. And we're going to go straight up into our program for the day. And today we're going to start with our lecture 3, that's continuing from yesterday. And before we go into that, we're going to have opening comment and evocation by our Deputy National Coordinator. I would like my co-host to please do a proper introduction. Thank you.
Okay, before I invite our Deputy National Coordinator, I would also like us to know that today we are being joined by our most worthy Grand Administrator, Frater Kenneth U. Idiodi, as well as the Grand Master of the English-speaking West African Administration. I can see him from here, and I suppose most of us can see him. We have Frater Steven Johansson all the way from the South Africa or UK, I really can't tell right now, but he's live with us. So please, let us acknowledge his presence, acknowledge their presence as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, everyone. From a very sunny and lovely England, I wish to wish you everything of the best, and I hope we'll have a very nice second day of this Light Bearers Association seminars. I'm joining for the first time. I could not come yesterday because I had a lot of work to do, but I will be with you for at least 1 hour, and then I'm afraid I don't have to just leave to attend to other matters. I wish you well, Fridays and Sorrows, and surround you with the light of our beloved order.
Thank you very much, Frater Sven Johansen. Your presence here is really, really appreciated. Thank you so much. So, our opening invocation and comments will be given by the Deputy National Coordinator of the Light Bearers Association, Regional Monitor Sam Ofoyande of Kutumi Lodge. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Nefertiti. Good morning, everybody. I won't say good morning because some of our audiences are in different time zones. Some are just doing.
Frater Sam, please, to avoid holdback effect, please advise everybody around you to move away with their devices. Okay. Thank you.
All right. I think the noise is less now. Let me use this period to welcome all participants who have logged on to this our seminar, to welcome you to the second day of LBA Annual Seminar. When the pandemic struck early this year, and we had restrictions or postponements of so many recreation activities, Accrado, and so forth, I got a lot of calls from light bearers because at the time this lockdown came in, some of us have packed our bags to travel to Calabar for our annual conference. However, because of the lockdown, we had our conference as virtual as this one we are holding now. Today is the second day of our seminar, and it has been a success story holding LBA events by virtual means. We had two lectures, two very sound lectures yesterday, and I hope light bearers who were logged on listened to the two lectures, and I had a lot of something to take home, particularly the role of technology in looking for job in the job place. And I'll remind you that Christian said, you don't have to be a hardwired techie to apply technology. That technology is an enabler. You have to have some idea in your head. And he said it, and I quote, you have to identify a need, a human need, and run with it. You serve, to provide a service. And for those of us who are looking for big business plans, please, you must, the first thing is for you to have an idea in your head. Identify a human need and make your mind to serve it, to provide service to your customers whom you may identify. Today, we are having the annual seminar. That means our scheduled program for this year, the annual conference and the zonal seminar, we are holding. So we have achieved 100% on our scorecard. However, I know that a lot of light bearers around the world, what we are missing is our variety nights. And we are negotiating with Zoom. I think our discussions have gone very spicy for them to arrange for us virtual DJs, virtual barbecues, and you remember what we lost, that Easter Sunday lunch. Today we're having 3 lectures, and we know in this pandemic, the shock, all that, but we're looking at the next new normal. And what are the things going to happen? Christian talked about technology. And now so many people are now forced to work at home. That is a stressor. We had already got some stresses But working at home adds its own stress as well. Before now, we're talking about work-life balance. You work in the office in the daytime, after 6 or 8 hours, you go home and spend quality time with your family. But that is no longer possible because people who are working now take their work home, and that brings more stress to the family. So that quality time we're talking about is no longer there. So a medical doctor is taking us on that one. And we know that in the new normal, digital commerce is becoming very prominent, and it's one of the solutions to these problems of this pandemic. So our two young men, we're talking about social media marketing. And they're talking about stress. We'll round it up with a lecture because as Rosicrucians, we have principles and for us to enable us handle some of the stresses and some of the disruptions in our life. So Marty is going to handle it with giving us an idea of how we have to regenerate ourselves in view of the current stresses and disruptions using our overall exercise. With that, I thank everybody who's connected. Let's sit back, relax, and listen to our lectures. And before that, I'll have to give an opening invocation. Please relax a little bit and turn your consciousness inwards. Glorious God of our hearts, God of our realization, in whom we live, move, and have our being. We thank you for all the blessings that have bestowed on us. Make us fully aware of thy presence here as we meet. Make us to become receptive to the influx of thy light, thy life, and thy love. Harmonize and enrich our hearts and minds with our divine vibration, so that as light bearers, we will recommit ourselves to bearing that light with which we have been entrusted, that we become beacons of light wherever we find ourselves, such that the clouds of ignorance, superstition, and primitive thinking will be lifted. May we, through our conduct and our ideals, contribute to bringing peace, unity, and peaceful fun. These we ask in the name of light, life, and love. So much it be.
So much it be. I thank you very much, Uncle Sam, for that. Keep the light shining. Thank you very much, Uncle Sam, for that very good introduction. I'm sure everybody is now hyped up. You introduced everything properly. And I could remember the first time I was in Calabar. I was so curious when I met you. I had a lot of questions and you did well to answer them. And also you promised us a virtual DJ barbecue. We're going to hold you on that one. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to move quickly into our first lecture for the day, stress management in the face of the global new world. I would like my big sister to help introduce our lecture.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, KY. And before I introduce our next facilitator, I would like to say something, like I'll give a brief story. The first time I met our grandmaster, Seven Johansson, I think he visited Nigeria during one of our conventions, and I was still a serving Cologne. Why I'm saying this, like I said, it's a very brief story. Why I'm saying this is then till now, he looks same. He has not changed. He has not aged. So what is it he's doing that I think I'm not doing? Because I seem to be bigger. I'm no longer like my Cologne size and all that. But he's still same. I suppose he's going to tell us that later. So let's meet our facilitator for stress management in the face of the global new normal. Dr. T.M. Eda, who is a medical practitioner, is a student on the path of the Rosecroix and is affiliated with Kutumi Lodge, Warri, Delta State in the Edo Delta Zone. Many of us have known Dr. Eda like forever. Years ago when he was with Memphis Lodge, Lagos, and later Benicity Lodge in Edo Delta Zone. He has always supported the Light Bearers Association and has been the LBA coordinator for Edo Delta Zone since 2013 till date. Dr. T.M. Eda is happily married to Esther. I beg your pardon. Dr. T.M. Eda is happily married to Mercy, who is a part of the LBA alumni and a Sora of our beloved order. They are blessed with beautiful children. Beloved Light Bearers, Fratres, and Soras, let's welcome Dr. T.M. Eda. You're welcome, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Slides. Slides. Wow. My audio has disappeared.
Actually, we can hear you, Dr.
We
Eda.
can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, great. Dignitaries of our order, our beloved National LBA Coordinator, our dear Deputy National LBA Coordinator and ROM, fellow panelists, light bearers, greetings. I have the task of addressing stress management in the face of the global new normal for this seminar. Can we move to the next page? Well, this is just an outline of what I'm going to talk about. A brief introduction, what the global new normal is, what is stress, managing stress in your child or children, coping with stress as an adult, and some additional or complementary approaches and a conclusion. The global new normal. What is the global new normal? The term new normal refers to the condition into which society, an economy, a nation, or the world settles during or after a crisis. This normal is said to be new because it is different from what prevailed before the crisis. It is a previously unfamiliar or atypical situation that has become standard, usual, or expected. Next page, next page. This term was associated with the financial crisis of 2007 to 2018, the result of the global recession that occurred from 2008 to 2012, and now the COVID-19 pandemic. In the context of COVID-19, the new normal means changes in human behavior during or after this pandemic. This has affected daily life for most people. Some of these changes include limitations in person-to-person contact, for now, when we make handshakes, and we have various new ways of exchanging greetings, like just waving your hands, the namaste, and all these various methodologies up there. Physical distancing. We now maintain, wherever we are, we now maintain a distance of about 1 meter or 2 meters, depending on the place, from each other. We avoid coming together in large groups. The use of face masks that cover use of face shields. Some people use just the face mask, some people use both the mask and the shield. Frequent hand washing with soap and water, and the use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers in case you are in a place where there's no soap and water. There were, earlier during this pandemic, there were stay-at-home orders which were strictly enforced. Now, there are more opportunities for people to work from home, since most corporate organizations have either closed down or reduced their workforce. Then there's also the need for scrupulous personal, home, and corporate hygiene. Yes. Next page. There were also some more drastic measures, like various degrees of lockdown. There were times when we had to stay indoors without moving, apart from essential workers. There were times when you couldn't move between states. Schools were closed, workplaces, cinemas, sports events, all were disallowed, all were closed, including places of worship. There were restrictions of people's movement, as well as travel and mass gatherings. Then, for those who were found to have been COVID-19 positive, they either go into isolation or quarantine. Next one. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, these measures were adopted to reduce the frequency and closeness of contact between people, so as to decrease the risk of transmission between them. Next one. Next one. Next one. Now, what is stress? Recall or assume a situation where you were in danger. How did you respond? Your heart, you could hear your heart pounding, your eyes dilating, and you were ready to are you ready to fight or flee? Are you ready to fight or flee? This is the typical stress response. Now, let us assume that days or years later, you recall this experience. All those physiological changes that you experienced at that time come to play. That is stress without the original experience. So your own thoughts, your emotions could actually reactivate all those processes. Now, during a crisis, it is not unusual to become sad, confused, scared, angry, frustrated, or nervous. Stress is your body's reaction to a demand a challenge or a change that requires a response or an adjustment. These responses may be physical, emotional, or mental. Your environment, your body, and your thoughts can initiate the stress experience. Next page. Next page. COVID-19 induced behavioral changes can have adverse effects on people's mental health. Instances of stress, anxiety, depression, or panic may increase. These undesirable mental conditions may be due to widespread media reports about the pandemic, with its attendant results on the economy, that is the effects of the pandemic on the economy, which bring hardship to people. Uncertainty and fear about the future may arise because of changes in personal circumstances, and this may exacerbate or increase mental stress. Family stress levels have risen dramatically. There are financial pressures, the need to care more for children, and greater concerns about health. There is the necessity to balance personal life and work. These stressors are due not only to COVID-19, but also to the measures introduced to control the pandemic. How do children respond to stress in a crisis? They tend to become more clingy, anxious, withdrawn, angry, agitated, restless, hyperactive, inattentive, and highly irritable. Enuresis or bedwetting may also be a response. This just tells us about various degrees of stress response. The positive response means you can easily adapt with some support. Then the tolerable response is higher, the stress is higher because of inability to respond, but this may be attenuated or buffered by supportive relationships. But the toxic stress response, that is when you have what I would call extreme stress levels, where a lot of, which may in adults lead to depression. So how do you manage stress in your child or children? There are various ways just enumerated here. You need to be supportive, listen to their concerns, their worries, what they are afraid of. Give them extra love and care. Speak kindly to them. Reassure them. Create opportunities for play and relaxation. Engage them in homeschooling and online learning activities. Next. Keep them as close as possible to their parents and caregivers. As much as practicable, maintain regular schedules or create new routines in a new environment. Explain as clearly as possible what the pandemic is, using words they can understand. Let them know how they can be prevented from getting infected. Reassure them about what could happen if a family member took ill and needs to go to the hospital. coping with stress as an adult during this pandemic. It is helpful to talk to people you trust. Reach out to your family and friends. Maintain a healthy lifestyle if you must remain at home. This means having a proper diet, enough rest and sleep, doing exercises, and maintaining social contact with your loved ones at home and by email and phone with family and friends that live far away. Avoid the use of alcohol, cigarettes, or drugs to handle your emotions. If you feel overwhelmed at any time, then talk with a health caregiver or counselor if you need help. Plan where to go to or how to get help if necessary for physical and mental health needs. Be properly informed. Get accurate facts that will assist you to determine your risk level. You can, therefore, with these facts, take appropriate precautions. You can get more information from the listed website from the WHO, the NCDC, and the CDC. Limit agitation and worry. Reduce time spent on listening to or watching upsetting news. It was our experience that the more people were watching out for how many new cases of coronavirus were being diagnosed, how many deaths we were having, the more fear there was. So some of us decided not to worry about that data. But then what skills have you used in the past to manage the adversities of life? If you faced adversities before and you have overcome it, you must have learned certain skills that were helpful. You can use those skills now to cope with the stress of COVID-19. So underlisted are some additional approaches in stress management, non-medical approaches. Deep breathing exercises. There are many forms of deep breathing exercises depending on the school of thought. For the Rosicrucian student, we have 3 essential types of breathing exercises: the positive deep breathing, the negative deep breathing, and the neutral deep breathing. When you are stressed, you can actually use the neutral deep breathing, which balances the both positive and negative polarities. This brings you a sense of peace, sense of calm, sense of harmony. Meditation can also be used. In meditation, we think of a purpose, a single purpose. We contemplate it, visualize it, and then we let go, which is called meditation proper. This helps you to access energy levels which may otherwise be inaccessible. And this can help you to return to a state of homeostasis, that is your normal state of being. We can also use vowel sounds. There are various vowel sounds with various functions. There are the vowel sounds that can reduce your heart rate. There are the vowel sounds that can stimulate or enhance exchange of gases within your lungs. Various vowel sounds that can calm you down. I'm not going to list them here since this is being streamed on YouTube. However, if you attend convocations or you read your monographs, you will see the functions of all these vowel sounds enumerated so that you can know which one you can use to help you at what time. The overall exercise basically works on what we call psychic centers. I won't talk more on this as one of the panelists is going to discuss this and possibly engage us in an exercise. Chants and mantras, there are very many chants and mantras depending on where you are coming from. If you attended some of the Department of Instruction discourses given by our Grand Master Julie Scott, you will have access to some of these. But if you don't, if you go to Rosicrucian TV on YouTube, there are some videos there from which you can get some of these chants and mantras which had earlier on been discussed. Mystical exercises, there are lots of mystical exercises. The overall exercise is a specific kind of mystical exercise which we shall experience later. Then yoga uses poses, positions, body positions, breathing, and meditation to achieve certain ends. Then for religionists, prayer can also be used as a means to handle stressful events. In prayer, you are essentially making a petition to a higher conceived being that can do for you what you think you are unable to do for yourself. Now, the essential, sorry, it's not yet there. Now, the essence of all these additional methods is to restore you to a state of balance and harmony. During a stressful situation, your sympathetic nervous system is activated. And that is what primes you for the fight or flight response. When you try any of these methods listed here, your parasympathetic nervous system is activated. And that is the system that tends to preserve your normal state of being, what we call homeostasis. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very, very much, Father Eda, for that very insightful presentation. Very, very detailed as well. So now we understand that feeling stressed is actually not a problem, but how we go about managing it is where the difference comes in. So as a quick recap, some of the mechanic exercise: maintain social relationships, avoid alcohol, talk to a counselor if you feel you have to, be informed so we don't go spreading wrong information, limit agitation, and reduce watching news that is going to upset you. Then there are other non-medical approaches like deep breathing, meditation, bowel sounds, overall exercise, chants and mantras, mystical exercises, yoga, and as well as prayers. I'm sure a lot of us may have questions right now, and this is the time where we'll take questions and contributions before we move on. So for questions, we have two methods. You either raise your hand and we'll select you, or you just type it out in the question and answer section of the chat box and we'll pick up your questions. Okay. So if you have questions, this is the time.
I think
It's not a question, Frater. It's not a question at all. It's just to thank you, Frater Eda, for the lovely discourse that you gave. I certainly could not hear all of it, but I could read it, which was very useful. And they are very, very useful points that you made. I would like to just say to everyone that although we have a very serious worldwide pandemic and very many people have passed away from it, we must not forget that we have members of our order who have passed away from it as well. And it is not a pleasant passing. Therefore, I would like to ask you all to please remember all people in the world who have lost loved ones. And we are talking about many millions who are aware of loved ones who have passed away and are grieving, and simply to send them guidance and support in your private prayers and your private meditations whenever you sit down and have a quiet moment. And please be careful yourselves. Practice social distancing. Try your best not to get infected, where there is without a doubt a very large proportion of the world will eventually be infected. And fortunately, we will have a vaccine one of these days. But unlike many other diseases, like typhoid, for example, that was once upon a time incurable, this particular disease may one day require repeat vaccinations throughout our lives. And there are many others. We have many other types of flu that exist, and as we get older and older, we take flu vaccines for those to protect us. I wish you well, dear fratres and sorors. I surround you with the light of our beloved order, and I must bid you a farewell now because I have got many other duties I must attend to. And I wish that you have a very nice next hour of this meeting.
Thank you very much indeed, most worthy Grandmaster. It's a delight to have you with us this morning. We thought we were going to have the surprise peeping yesterday, but it's all well and good that we've had you this morning. And your encouraging comments are very inspiring, I'm sure, and uplifting to all of us who are in this weekend seminar. You have a lovely day yourself.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a very good contribution. We're grateful for that. Okay, so right now we seem not to have questions coming through. We just have a comment from Scholar Orok. He said, "Cosmic blessings to Frater Eda for that wonderful presentation." Okay, so it's good to know that means we all followed and we all understood. We're going to quickly move on to our next activity on our calendar, on our schedule. This is actually one that is going to be very interesting, and I've been actually looking up to it. So we're going to have a presentation by Lightbearer Obehi Omokus to present to us, titled Hope. Obehi, please.
All right, can I start?
Yes, please, Obe, you can start. You are live.
All right. The last hope of the common man. You, my solace in this space of time. Time so dark it's better to apart the very fabrics of our existence that we have woven and called our lives. Corona. They gave you the name because they say you have a crown. But a crown is the glory of kings and not the possession of peasants. You tried to drown our hearts in an ocean of despair. You tried to unveil our glory for ashes, forced us to stay at home, give up our jobs, our means of livelihood, and took some of us with you. And yet, you forced us to be patient and be still, to speak to one another from hearts and not just fingers, to dwell in the silence, that we may find ourselves whole again. And even when recession and depression threaten to rear their ugly head, we remember our hope. For it is fragile as it is great. It boasts wondrous castles and builds palaces in our minds and hearts, creating a reality within us that we latch onto as truth. But it is also fleeting like silence, drowned out by the screams within our hearts, like a breath, choked to death by words and the existence of a reality that threatens. But even then, it is as omnipresent as the air we breathe, as omnipotent as the man that will not give up. It is the whisper in the storm, the great breath the earth takes in before the dawn. Hope. It is you and I. Thank you. I'll be giving the second poem straight away. The title is God of Words. I welcome thee, messenger. Tell your Lord that long have I stood at the threshold, waiting safe passage into the greater mysteries. Long have I been a postulant, worshiping his glory from afar, but so I worship unworthiness to approach his presence. I have inscribed his laws in the book of my heart, my being devouring the text daily. I have waited for Aurora to arise from her slumber before retiring into the arms of Morpheus. I have written his sacred words in the script of papyrus, giving a string of words, crafted wittily, to create a sweet melody for the eyes to sing to and the ears to hear the tune. Long have I studied his works, long enough to meander words into as many combinations as drops thrive in the ocean. Long have I studied thee, O God of words, that I may become thee. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, LBA Obehi, for that beautiful piece. Still really, it's still playing in my head. I think you did a very good job. Thank you very much. If you have comments on that, you can please drop it on the chat. Without wasting any time, we're going to move straight up into our next lecture. This one is a very practical session. So I advise that you have your laptops on, you have access to your social media accounts so that you'll be able to follow through. Please, may we meet our lecturers.
Okay, so next on the program is the lecture Social Media Marketing, to be given by members of the Light Bearers alumni and fratres of our beloved order. So we will be meeting our facilitators. First is Frater Obin Okonobin. Frater Ubin is a versatile and highly accomplished professional with over 7 years of experience in executing challenging field service operations and directing technical maintenance operations across a range of product lines. He is well presented with excellent communication skills and unrivaled professional approach to solving problems and business development. He has degrees in IT security major and business administration minor, as well as a degree in computer science. His professional experience includes subsea control specialist with GE Oil and Gas, and received several awards and recognition. Frater Ubin Okonubin was born into a Rosicrucian family and has been through the ranks from Junior Order of Torchbearers to adult membership. He served as Eton Lodge Chairman for the LBA, Eastern Zonal Secretary for the LBA, and now a permanent member of the Light Bearers Association Induction Committee. He is currently the IT Operations and Project Lead for the English West African Administration of the Rosicrucian Order AMOC. Beloved Light Bearers, distinguished fratres and sorors, I present Frater Ubin Okonubin. You're welcome.
Up, light bearers.
Keep the light shining.
Keep the light shining.
Up,
light bearers. So his co-facilitator is Promise Ayanaso. Frater Promise Ayanaso is a graduate of Information Management Technology from Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Futo. His passion for anything that conquers time and space led him into specializing in remote sensing technology, which is a subdivision of telecommunication. Upon graduation, he delved into digital marketing. Due to his poise to provide affordable advisory services and also help small-scale businesses and individuals drive sales. And that he has been doing with tremendous success. Promise currently works for Flame Academy and Consulting Limited, a financial consulting company based in Lagos, but covers all English-speaking African countries. Promise is an avid drummer of multiple streams of income and currently engages in a plethora of businesses that can be done from the comfort of the home through the instrumentality of social media. While he runs a lot of businesses by the side, his decision to work with Flame Consulting is because of his love for knowledge, which he acquires on a platter of gold, owing to the high-profile personalities he meets from the corporate world in the course of his job as business development manager for Flame Consulting. Promise was born into a Rosicrucian family, and therefore his drive for service has also been far-reaching on LBA and the Rosicrucian Order. After serving in the positions of Treasurer, Vice Chairman, and consequently Chairman of Sacred Light Lodge Lagos LBA, he succeeded Light Bearer Ethel Oiku as Chairman of Lagos Zone in 2008. In 2011, upon securing admission to study in Futo, after several failed attempts over the years, he offered himself in service in the capacity of LBA National Public Relations Officer as a show of gratitude to the Cosmic Masters for granting his heart desires to study his choice course in Futo, and he gave his very, very best throughout the reign of the LB of Light Bearer Ejo Okonobin-led administration. Promise currently affiliates with Lagos Island Chapter Lagos, where he just finished serving as the Socials Committee Deputy Chairman. Promise Ayanaso is currently advancing his career in one of the remote sensing areas he has always loved growing up. Beloved Light Bearers, distinguished fratres and sorors, I present Frater Promise Ayanaso. You're welcome, and over to you.
Thank you very much. Up, Light Bearers.
Keep the light shining.
Thank you for having me.
Up, light bearers. Up, light
Keep the light
bearers.
shining.
Keep the light shining.
Keep the light shining.
Up, light bearers.
Up, Light Bearers.
The moderator had done superb about our introduction. Like Namdi said at the early stage of this today's seminar, after the introduction by Soro Nefertiti Ohimen, I actually asked myself, is she referring to me or somebody else? Because that profile that she just read is a very intimidating profile. And
I've got my eyes on you, on all of you, my eyes.
So we will get straight to business. And the topic for today that we will be handling alongside Promise Ayana for the social media marketing. Beloved moderator, please confirm if you are seeing my screen.
Yes, yes, I can see your screen.
Social media marketing. We've been hearing much in the world of the internet about going digital, social media this, social media that. And we ask ourselves, why should we go digital? For what reason should we go digital? Because you heard so much about digital marketing, digital this, digital that, the new normal, we should do this. Christian spent a whole lot of time yesterday to educate us why we need to change the way we live and have our being. Things are no longer the same. It is on this instance that we've decided to delve much on social media marketing. But for the purpose of this session, we'll be doing more of practicals than theory. So before I start, I will urge our attendees to drop in the comment section the nature of businesses they are into, so that when we enter the practical session, we could use their businesses as real life case studies to show us how we could use the social media to enhance our products and services. According to Internet World Stats, there are about 4.5 billion internet users in the world, and 400 million of them are in Africa alone. What this means is that the moment you master the act of social media marketing, you can potentially reach about 4.5 billion people in the world, including 400 million Africans. Now, I keep making emphasis about Africans, because I'm a strong advocate of starting small to grow big. And I think we have in Africa, and Nigeria in particular, the needed population or audience for us to scale our business to a geometric proportion. So let's take a while and imagine the possibilities. 400 million Africans, 4.5 billion internet users. So what do we hope to learn in this session? What are our expectations? What exactly do we think we as the facilitators should impact to the audience? Please kindly make use of the comment section, the chat room, drop your expectations so that as we proceed in this session, we could handle them as they come. This session will help you understand what social media marketing is, the various social media marketing channels, how to use social media to brand yourself, and how to improve communication using social media. What exactly is social media marketing? Social media marketing is the use of social media platforms to connect with our audience, to build our brand, increase sales, and drive website traffic. Social media marketing includes activities like posting of text, image updates and uploads, videos, and other content that drives audience engagement. If we may take a wild guess, how many people do we think uses the social media worldwide? The next slide will be our statistics, as you can see. have a total population of 7.5 billion people in the world or more, is an estimate. This estimate was done as of January 2018. Of this 7.5 billion person, we have about 4.02 billion as internet users and about 3.1 billion actively using the social media. That is a very big number, a global statistic. Let me not bore you with some of these statistics. You could take your time to go through it when we share this slide thereafter. But if you have over 3.1 billion users, what this means is that 2 in every 5 persons in the world uses the social media, thus making it one of the most powerful ways of reaching out and engaging your potential clients. Social media is one of the most effective and productive channels to connect to your audience. It shock you? Imagine the possibilities again. In the course of this session, we'll be making use of several terms. So I'd like us to familiarize ourselves with some of these terms. Content, we'll be making use of words like content, share, engagement, hashtags, strategy. By content, basically, we mean your status updates, the things you post on social media, your videos, your pictures, the text you write, and so on. That's what constitutes your content. We'll also be talking about shares. Yes, share. For all that are active users of the social media, you see, you make a post, and if the post is very engaging, you have so many people liking your post, and they'll start sharing your post. Some will even share your post without asking for your permission. So sometimes it might be so funny that you will see somebody sharing a post that you are the originator, when even the person sharing the post doesn't know that he or she is sharing the post with is actually the originator of the post. So we call this the currency of the social media. Your content, the traction your content gets, could also be measured by the shares, the number of shares you receive. That takes us to engagement, likes and comments, another currency of the social media. Now it has evolved to the level whereby it's no longer likes alone. We have emojis, we have love, we have fantastic, we have several things that we could do to show the content producer or content provider that we are actually in love with the content they have posted. We also have comments, whereby you get to comment on a particular topic. So they are summed up as engagement, the ability for you to engage or your audience to engage with you. There's another term that we also need to be familiar with, hashtag. You could see that sign beside the word hashtag. That sign is what is actually called, is a symbol for hashtag. So you will see on our social media pages and handles, you will see hashtag free Leah Sheribu, hashtag revolution now, hashtag Victoria's Secrets, hashtag this, hashtag that. What basically happens with this hashtag is that it's like a form of signature whereby people use to get an idea, to replicate an idea in a viral nature. So take, for example, we had hashtag revolution now that became so viral that the security agencies in the country had to clamp down on the promoters of the Revolution Now campaign. They did not go on the TV stations. They did not do the conventional adverts. All they did was to promote their hashtag, Revolution Now, making use of the social media. And we are all witness to the fact that hashtags could actually go very viral. The Arab Spring, like the revolution that happened in the Arab world, was influenced by the social media. something that wouldn't have happened 10 to 15 years ago. That is to tell you that the social media is such a tool that can be used for anything that you may want to do with it. Though, as members of the Light Bearers Association, we are being encouraged that when we delve into the world of the limitless world of social media, we should be guided by the principles and virtues of the order which we've sworn to protect and defend. Another term I also like to bring to our knowledge is strategy. Strategy this, strategy that. We all use strategy. Some people have masters or PhDs in strategic management, strategic this, strategic that. There's even a common phrase that is called strategic positioning. So of all these strategies, how do we narrow it down to the social media? Because of the truth, you need a strategy. So that takes us to our next subject matter, building an effective social media strategy. In one of my previous sessions that I had on this topic, I think during the Sisters of the Rosy Cross session, I made mention of a particular controversial media personality that we all know in Nigeria. I will not use him as a case study in this session, but I only want to mention so that it will tickle our mind as to what really is a strategy.
Bob with the risky.
Bob Risky, fantastic. Bob Risky. We all know that Bob Risky is a viral signature, is a viral trend on our social media. And Bob Risky has a brand that he uses his controversy and his viral hashtag to promote. But we will leave that story for another day. Why isn't the social media magically solving all our problems? Too many channels. We have about 100 or thereabout social media channels, some of them popular, some of them not too popular. As a newbie or a novice into the world of social media marketing, you read a whole lot of things, you see a whole lot of presentation, the possibilities of the social media. There is a tendency that you may end up not knowing what to do actually with it. As you can see, the person in this picture is saying, I do know, well, we'll figure it out later. That is where the strategy comes in. One of the simplest ways to create your social media marketing strategy is to understand or ask yourself the 5 why questions, the 5 W questions, or I call them the 5 whys, or 5 Ws, anyhow. 1, why do you want to be on social media? In technical language, we call it, what are your goals? Your social media goals. Why do you want to be on social media? Who is your target audience? Because the beauty of the social media, it gives you the ability, the beauty of social media marketing is in the ability for you to target your adverts or your content to the right audience. Take, for example, you can't advertise male wears, suits and blazers to a female audience. Even when you may have 1 or 2 of them that will be interested probably to buy it for the men in their lives. But you and I know that your audience, your specific audience, should be the primary users of that product, being the male. So what exactly are you going to share? Where are you going to share it? Are you sharing it on Facebook? Are you sharing it on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, and all the various social media channels? Because of the truth, you cannot master in all of them. You must select your niche, build upon it, develop yourself to become a subject matter expert in that field, and open yourself to the wide array of possibilities that exist in the world of social media marketing. And finally, when exactly are you going to share? Will you be sharing every day? Will you be sharing every morning? Will you be making shares or post updates daily? How exactly, when are you going to share your content or post your content? Other factors that we also need to consider are your audience, your budget, the type of content. Like, by the type of content, I mean, what will you be talking about? What type of content will be able to speak in the language that your target audience will understand? Is it pictures? Is it text? Or is it video? Take, for example, my generation, the generation of today's libraries. I always call that generation the impatient generation. It is the generation that you should be able to sell your brand or market yourself in 1 minute. Your inability to market yourself or sell your brand in 1 minute, this generation will pass you by. So this generation is actually the generation that performs well with short, engaging videos, short, engaging text, infographics, pictures that convey message. So you have to take time while building your social media strategy to understand your audience, who you will be reaching out to, and also understand the type of content you will be using to promote your business. Another thing you also have to consider is your business model. What exactly do you want to do? What do you hope to achieve? Is it brand awareness? Is it increase in sales? What exactly is your model? Choosing the right platform. It's very important. In the previous slide, I talked about the myriad of platforms, the social media platforms we have. I mentioned a whole lot of them. But for the purpose of this session, I will be focusing on Facebook, because we intend to go into a practical session whereby we will use Facebook to practically show us how we could increase brand awareness, improve our sales with very limited resources. So there are hundreds of social media platforms in existence, but for the purpose of this class, we will be focusing on Facebook. Facebook is the most popular social media platform on the internet. It has approximately 2 billion users worldwide, according to statistics. But you and I know that it might be up to 3 billion or even more. And we have about 250 million or thereabouts in Africa. And when I keep on emphasizing this Africa, you and I know that Nigeria constitutes about 3/4 of that population. We make use of the social media a lot. We are literally on Facebook every day, every minute. What exactly are you doing on Facebook? That is the purpose of this class. Are you on Facebook for idle gossips and banters? Or are you on Facebook to promote your brand? Are you ready to take upon you the responsibility of making profits or becoming something in this new normal? The fact that most media formats can be posted there and sharing can be done effortlessly makes Facebook a very proficient business to networking tool. The many features of Facebook include status updates, page creation, post engagement, groups, stories, Facebook Live, advertisement, and insights. I've talked about several of these features when we're talking generally about the many features of media, social media handles or groups. So in Facebook, I always like to start before we delve into the nitty-gritty of it, which will be evident in the practical session. I'd like to give us some following tips, because we might not mention these tips in the course of the practical session. Content is a key. You have to ensure that the content educates and engages your audience and empowers them to come back for more. If you make a post on Facebook and that post has no comments, no likes, no shares, my brother, my sister, you have to go back and look at the content. Did it really attract your audience? Were you able to capture their mind? Were you able to make their mind come alive? Another aspect we neglect a lot that I'm giving us as a tip is, how do you communicate with your audience? Are you so mechanical in your approach, or are you so philosophical and intellectual in your approach? We should be able to communicate in the language that our audience understands. Speak in plain English. Explain your technical jargons in plain English. Add a human touch. Communicate on the social media as you would communicate if you were having a one-on-one discussion with the person. Diversify your medium. By your medium, I mean not every time you are writing long, lengthy posts, not every time you are posting videos, not every time you are posting pictures. Diversify. You post pictures today, post videos tomorrow, post text. Try to gauge and see by your audience reaction, by the engagement, you know the medium that really suits your business. Leverage on art, sponsored art, promoted art, and what Library Promise Ayana Saw will be taking us in the next session, the practical section. It is very important that if you are promoting your brand or your business on social media, that you should leverage on this particular aspect, advertising or sponsored posts. Don't be scared. It is not expensive. There are things you could do with very little amount of money, and it will reach a wide array of audience. And finally, please always ensure you track how your audience on Facebook is performing. Facebook has a feature that is called Insights or Analytics, as the case may be. If you don't know how to do it, ask a friend. They will show you. It's very easy. The analytics will enable you to know how a particular post of yours is itself to a yes. Okay, so I was actually at the point whereby I was explaining what Facebook Insights are. I don't have to dwell much on that. We would do a later session with respect to that. Frater Promise, please take notes. We will have to take them through briefly what basically is insights or analytics so that they can know how their promoted art or sponsored post is performing.
Okay, Ubin and Promise, please, before you come on, Promise, there are some questions for you, Ubin, based on the theoretical part you just gave. So I want to find out, would you want to answer these questions now, or you would like to take them after Promise's session?
Okay, we would like to take the session after Promises session so that we don't lose the flow of this engagement. So after Promises session, we'll take the time to answer all the questions.
Okay, but please, you can just refer to the chat area so you see those questions and start prepping for them.
Okay,
Thank
thank you very much.
Over to you, Promise.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, yes, we can.
I'm going to share my slide. Okay.
Okay, we need to share his slide, please.
I'm doing that.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I'm standing under the existing protocol because we don't have much time. So basically what we'll be doing is practical demonstration of Facebook ads. You all heard what Frata Ubin said about Facebook. Now, there's a difference between marketing and advertising, and that's why I'm coming in here. Ordinarily, marketing has to do with the ability for you to communicate the values and the values of your product and services to a targeted audience. Now, but advertising is what you pay for. Anything you pay somebody for is advertising. Are we there? Okay, so now if you go to Facebook and say, okay, Facebook, I want you to be able to help me reach so and so number of persons, that's advertising, and they will charge you for it. So now there are two ways we can do this. We have what we call the boost option, and then you have the one you can do from the ads manager. Can you all hear me? Okay, so the boost option normally is done from the front page. When you do this from the front page, whatever you do from your front page is actually called boost, like you can see here. Now the facilities are not the same. This is a shortcut method. So the flexibilities are not the same. This one is not quite it's not quite flexible. It's very fast, no doubt, but there are some features that you need to, if you want to use, you may not be able to do that from this front page. So now, like for example, if you are doing an advert from the front page, you don't have the option of being able to schedule when your ad can start. What happens is that the moment you submit your ad on this one, Facebook will have to review it to make sure it meets their advertising policy. The moment it's approved, it will start running from that very minute. You cannot schedule. But when you use the option of, when you come to Ads Manager, you can actually set your ads and say, okay, I want my ad to start running from tomorrow morning by 8 a.m. Is that possible with this option? So now this is what the dashboard looks like. If you are doing an advert from the ads manager, this is what it looks like. You can see all the campaigns I have running for clients here, and then you can see their status here. So this is the bid strategy. This is the budget for the ad, and then you see the result here as I'm moving my cursor here. Now this is the reach, this is the impression. Impression has to do with the number of, as in the number of minutes someone spends staring at your advert. Some of you that watch video on social media, you see that once you are able to move that video to a particular level on your phone, it will start playing automatically. It's playing because it has been able to record there's a contact between you and the ad. Yes, so that's why it's playing. So now, because we have a mixed audience, I will not want to go this way because I don't want to confuse anybody. I want us to be able to pick value no matter how short the time is. So I don't want us to be confused here. I want us to be very, I'm going to take it very, very basic. I'll take it from the very, very basics. And so that means we are going to start from, we're going to use the boost option, which is the front page. So now let's go. Now this is my front page. This is my front page. Please kindly note that for you to do an ad, for you to run an ad, it cannot be on your personal account. It doesn't work that way. Whatever ad you are running must be on a page. Personal account doesn't have the facility to run ads. It doesn't. So you have to have a page where you can run your ad, because the page has all the merchant facility and all those stuff for you. So now, if you want to do a boost option, what you are going to do is, sorry, let me call up a page I want to use for it. Sorry, just a second, just a second. So if you are going to do a boost option, what you need to do first of all is you add the content you want to promote. You have to add your content. So when you add your content, you must ensure that your write-up is, like you heard what Frata Okonubin said. We are living in our generation right now is the generation of we want it quick. So try not to make it very long. Try to keep it short. And then whatever content you are going to promote, you should always make sure your content sort of sends the message of when, how do I go about it, what next, I need details. So that's one thing you should always do with your content. So right now, I wonder why my network is dragging. So right now I'm going to show you an ad I just boosted recently, which will end today. So when I want us to see details, okay, like Fred Ubin said something about analytics. If you boost an ad, you need to come to this section here. That is, if you are using a boost option, this is where you can see your analytics. There's also another method from the back end, but of course, that's for Ads Manager. So if you're using a boost section, you can come here and view your results. So this is where you know the number of persons you were able to reach, the engagement, and then what it costs per engagement, because the objective you're using will determine Facebook's billing metrics for you. So this is boost option. Now, boost option is always either by engagement or by messaging. Those are the facilities, or what you call true play. If you have a video you are boosting, Facebook will give you the option of actually choosing to be charged by per 15 seconds view. Because if you have a video that is about 15 seconds, they charge you at the end of that. They charge you for whoever is able to see that video to the very end. That's what is called true play. So if you look at this now, I can view my analytics, and you see I have you can look at the distribution. You know whether maybe more women or more men clicked and all that. Then if it's an ad that is targeted, if it's a neutral ad, and yet you are seeing maybe more women click or more men, you may begin to ask yourself, okay, why did I have more women click? Would it be because of the creative? Would it be the color? Because women women can be very particular about color. Some may respond better to maybe pink color or whatever, any of those feminine kind of color. So you may begin to now look at your creative and all those stuff before you can now implement whatever it is you want to implement. So now let's go straight to let's try to boost a post. I wanted us to send the content way before now, but that didn't come. So right now, what we'll do right now is I'm going to just boost any content from my own page, and then I will show us how we can go about it. Somebody said that she's into food. Someone said she's into beverages as well. Then there's also somebody who is into fashion and design. Okay, now when you are doing an ad, keep something at the back of your mind. There are two major things you should look at. One is your ad set, and one is your ad itself. Are we there? Your ad set and your ad. So I will use this video, so I'll be able to show you some functionalities. So now your ad set has to do with your budget, your settings, like maybe the gender you are targeting. That is, asset is where the magic happens. In your ad set, you choose your budget, people you are targeting, the number of days you want it to run, and then the delivery you want. Because on Facebook, you can decide to target people that use only mobile phones. Or you can decide to say, okay, target both mobile phones and PC. For one, I always prefer to target mobile phones. Why? Because there are more persons now who log onto the internet using mobile phones. That's the fact. So I always restrict my ads to mobile phones. So that is, you can do all this when you are using ad set. But the option is not here on Boost, because why? This doesn't have, like I said, doesn't have more flexibility than the ads manager. But we'll start with Boost all the same. In order not to confuse anybody, we want to make it very basic. So when you've added your content, what you now have to do is you come to Boost. You click Boost option. So the Boost option gives you this very environment now, where you have to choose, okay, I want to be able to target, this is not restricted to any gender. So I want to be able to target everybody. But because I'm selling a particular kind of product and I want to target a particular kind of people, so there's a kind of like interest I would choose. So for those who may be selling product that is gender sensitive, you may decide to come here and choose women. If you are selling maybe women clothes and all that, because there's no point you targeting a man for a product that is actually for women. No doubt some men may actually buy for their women, but it's still best you target the direct people. Just like Frata Ubin said, always target people who are directly going to use the product. So if you are selling a gender sensitive product, you can choose women here. And then one thing about Facebook ads, social media in general, why it's very effective is because you have the option of choosing exactly what you want. It's not like television or radio ads where once you go and pay it, advertise to everybody, both those that don't have the money and those that don't have the interest and all that. No, when it comes to social media, you can choose exactly what you want. So now let's say I want to restrict this ad to women. I can choose women, but I'm going to leave it at all. I'm targeting both people. So now I want to be able to restrict my ad to people who have the financial power to buy, not just people who are interested, because that also matters. This will increase your return on ad spend. So I am selling a product that costs about 30,000 naira for one. So I will just restrict it. This is the age. This is the age where you can choose the age distribution you want. So I don't want people who are maybe 14, 15, 16, 17, all the way down to 27 to see my ad, because this is Nigeria. My assumption is that for someone to, my assumption is that people who are financially buoyant enough to patronize me are probably, they fall between the age of 30 to 50. Yeah, sparingly maybe 25 to 28 and all that. But even if they have the financial power, they may not have that need right now for the kind of health product I want to sell. So I'm going to choose 30. And then I also want to restrict my ad to people who are below 50. Because if I target somebody that is 65, person may not be that active on Facebook. Person may not even be able to look at what I'm selling and then be able to synthesize the information. So I can keep it within just 30 and 50. Okay. Now here you choose your location, the location you want to target. So I want to target Abuja. I want to target Lagos State. I want to target Port Harcourt. Okay. Now, if you are selling a product or service and you require people to patronize you from your vicinity, you don't need to choose all this. Let us say you sell food, like somebody said, you are into foods and beverages, and maybe you are based in Port Harcourt. There's no point targeting somebody in Delta State. That's a waste of money. Or somebody in Abuja. No. Even the very Port Harcourt, you cannot target everybody in that Port Harcourt. I will show you where you can actually reduce the mileage. There's something called radius. So when you're targeting Port Harcourt now, as you can see, you have this is the distance you can cover. This is mileage. So if it is something you are selling within your neighborhood, you don't need somebody all the way from maybe 10-mile distance to see your ad, because even if they see, they may not be able to come and patronize you. That's a waste of money. So you may need to reduce the distance. This idea works for somebody who is also into maybe barbing salon and all those stuff. You don't need to target somebody that is so far away from you. No, you can bring this down to maybe, you can say you want your ad to be seen by people who are within 3 miles radius. Or you can say, okay, I want to target people who are within 2-mile radius. So it now means that whoever is within this distance will see your ad, because Facebook ad works with GPS. It works with distance. So this is what you can do if you sell a product that you want people from your neighborhood to patronize you. That's what you can do. Okay, so now let's move forward. Now this is where the magic happens. Again, please pay particular attention here. Someone says he's into he's into graphics. You're into graphics, fine. Then somebody also says he's into what else? Okay, let's work with just graphics and then food services. So now there's something called lookalike audience in Facebook. If you sell food is essential for everybody. Yes, everybody likes food and all those stuff. So for food, you may actually keep your audience very open. There's nobody that will see your product and will not want to patronize you or something. But if you are into graphics as well, then you need to be able to pick people who have interest in what you do. You want to be able to target people that have interest in what you do, or you want to be able to go and show this ad to people who, based on where they follow. Because if, for instance, now you want to sell necklace, you may not have any point going to where they sell meat or going to where they sell fruit to market your necklace. No, but you might say, okay, since I have necklace to sell, let me go to somewhere like ShopRite. Let me go to somewhere like let me go to where they sell clothes or where they sell shoes, because whoever comes there to buy clothes probably has interest in fashion. So the person will have interest in what you are trying to sell. So now let's say I want to sell necklace. I will come here and say, okay, I want Facebook to show my ad to people who are interested in fashion. I'll just type fashion here. Type fashion. I will see a list of options to send to me. I'll see shopping and fashion. I'll click it. Then that becomes the interest I want Facebook to help me show. Now I want them to also help me show my advert to people who have interest in maybe online shopping. Yes, because someone that has interest in online shopping has the propensity of actually buying from me. You will suggest it for me. I'll click it. Are we there? Now I also say, okay, I want people that. Look, I can hear noise at the background. Okay, now. Okay, I also want to show my ad to people that probably like maybe beauty. Yes. No, I can just say, okay, I want to target people that have interest in beauty. So they bring it for me, I will click. Now, because you also know that there are a lot of popular people there that command followership. Okay, let me also carry this my product. Let me go and show it to people, maybe people that are watching football, or people that are watching DB Niger, people that are watching Z World, people that have interest in some musical artists. So I can say, okay, okay, I want to target people that also like Champions League. I want to be able to get their attention. So I will come here and type Champions League. So you can see Facebook brings that. I click Champions League. Are we there? Okay. I also want to target people that follow Netflix. Yes, I want Facebook to show my ad to them. So I will target Netflix. Now there are people that also like games, because whoever likes game probably will have enough time to always spend on mobile phone and all those stuff. Okay. Now I want to target people that like Candy Crush. This is Candy Crush. I'll target them. Okay, I want to target people that also like Temple Run. I'll target Temple Run. I'll click. Now, a lot of women tend to like Z Word and what have you, and also they like to follow female artists like Rihanna and the rest. So I can come here, I can type, I want people that like Rihanna, target them for me. They will target them, because artists have this way of promoting all those type of vanity. So you stand a lot of chance being able to target people that like this artist. So I've targeted Rihanna. Okay, I also want people that follow even Wizkid. They give you Wizkid. You see Wizkid musician, so you target Wizkid. Are we there? So when you are done with this now, because you don't want to waste money showing your ad to people where you will not get response. So I restricted it to appear only to people using Android devices and then also Apple devices. You can see that. So how you do this now is you come to, let me remove it and then show you the process again. Just you remove this one. This is Android, and then remove this. So now come to browse here, and then you look for behaviors. Click on behaviors. Then you look for people. You look for mobile device user. Click mobile device user. Then you go and look for device by operating system. So I want people that use only. I want people that use sorry. I want people that use Android. Sorry, just a second. I'm targeting Android, and then iOS. This is fine because majority of the people in Nigeria, in fact, even globally, use Android and iOS. So with this now, I am done. I'm done selecting this. So what can I do here now? I will click save. As you can see, Facebook is telling me your audience size is defined. Good job. So you have potential. You have the potential of reaching about 2.8 valid audiences, not just anybody, but valid audiences. So when I'm done with this, I will just click save. Then I'll continue with my ad. So now, how do I want my ad to appear? I'll choose the number of days I want. Like I told you, if you're using boost option, you can't use lifetime option. If you're using boost option, no, there's no lifetime. So what you can do now is you choose daily budget. So if I want the total budget for my ad to be, say, 5,000 for 4 days, it means Facebook will divide your budget by the number of days your ad will run, which means those, like see what they said now, you spend about 1,250 per day. So this ad will run for 4 days, ending on the 4th or on 27th of August. So I can reduce my budget to 2,000. You have to note that Facebook doesn't take minimum of 387 naira per day. So whatever budget you are using must be more than 375 naira if they divide per day. That's the way it works. So now this is what my ad looks like now. And then you have to just make sure you have enough money in your account and all those stuff. And then once you are done with this, the next thing for you to do is now to click boost. Once you click boost, it means that you have actually accepted their terms and conditions like they told you. And then once it is approved and it starts running, you will see on. I'm not going to click boost because I don't intend to have this running. So I'm going to stop here. Now, quickly, before I conclude, let me take us through these different objectives. Now, Facebook understands that there are so many things you want to achieve when you do ads. You could be doing ads just for brand awareness. This is for big companies like Coca-Cola and the rest. I mean, you don't have money for brand awareness because brand awareness actually it's not meant to bring any result to you. It's just to be able to tell people that, okay, we are launching a new product. We want you to know more about us and all those stuff. Now, it could be for reach. If you want to do for reach, you can do for reach. Now, we have these ones here. We have traffic, we have engagement, we have app installs. Majority of the objectives you see here are not available on your boost option. You can't see app installs on your boost option. You can't see conversion and the rest because these ones are actually for website and all that. So you need an elaborate you need a lot of permission, which only comes with your ads manager for you to be able to do this. Are we there? So it could be messages, it could be lead generation, and then once you are doing a boost, the objective Facebook will suggest to you depends on what you have on the content you've uploaded. Now, had it been I was doing that boost option with my with a video content, Facebook would have suggested I use through play. Like I explained earlier, through play means they will be charging you using a billing metric for whoever watches your video till the very end. That's why it's advisable to keep your video very short. If you are doing sponsored ads, make sure it doesn't get beyond 15 to 30 seconds is fine. So that they'll be able to show your ad to people that will watch it to the very end, because it is when they watch to the end they can be able to pick value from your ad. So now that is that for this one. So we'll continue with the boost option. And then at this point, once you boost, you are done. There's nothing more for you to do. So thank you very much for staying with me to this end. I know there'll be a lot of questions. I know this looks like rocket science to some persons. So I'll be expecting so many questions at the comment section. So thank you very much. And thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Promise, for that very detailed lecture. Very, very detailed and practical. And as you anticipated, there are quite a number of questions and that people have been dropping while the lecture was going on. And some of these questions are for Fata Ubin and some are for you. So we have about 5 to 6 questions. I'm going to read them out because we don't have too much time. I mean, just merge questions that I feel are similar and then we'll carry on. So we have questions for, okay, let's go with Fata Ubin first, or should we just take your questions first since you're still up?
Anyone is fine. Anyone is fine.
No, I think we should just take the questions and they can support each other.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we have the first question from Chikezi Okorie, and he said, how do you establish or ensure the integrity of your message or product on social media? So should I read through the questions or you want to answer them one after the other? But you have to be very brief with your answers.
We can take them one after the other and so that we don't mix anything.
All right, okay, so I think this question is for Fata Ubin, but you may have input as well. So how do you establish or ensure the integrity of your message or product on social media?
That is why it's important to do what we call Facebook branding. Branding is very important because a lot of persons don't quite put out quality content out there. In fact, as an advertiser, you can carve your niche by being able to help people edit whatever they put out there. Like me, for example, in the course of advertising for a lot of people, once they send content to me, the first thing I do is I try to read through what they are saying and then make sure it makes sense. It mustn't be standard English, because one thing about communication is that you should be able to send it to people and get feedback. There are a lot of ad content out there that are in pidgin English. But whatever you're putting out there must at least make sense, and then there must be no typo. That's the truth. There have been so many people that came to me for advertising, and then for one reason or the other, we couldn't just work together. But they came back to me and were like, they were not really getting value from the first person they went to. And then when I said, okay, send me your content and let me see, you see there's so much typo error. And me as a person, the moment I read through your content on Facebook or your ad copy, once there's an error, I take it that's a scam. That's the way I work, and that has been helping me a lot. So now you don't know who you are putting your content out there, to. Some persons, the moment they see some wrong English and maybe some sentences that don't make sense and all that, they are like, this one is a scam. At least for what it's worth, it shows that you have no structure. Because if you have a structure, there must be one person that can actually read through whatever you have written and told you that this is good to go out there. That's the thing. So that is why if you want to be an advertiser, you must focus on your quality of English, because that matters a whole lot. A lot of Nigerians, we speak a lot of, in fact, we don't speak English. What we do is that we translate our mother tongue to English. That's why you hear people like saying things like, hi, carry sabi me, those kind of funny grammar kind of stuff. So when you put these things out on social media, you have this tendency of actually being able to lose a lot of people. So your quality, your grammar matters a lot. That is the point when it comes to that branding. And I actually take time to teach social media branding differently from what I'm doing here, because they are two different things. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. So we have one more question. How does the value proposition of or product design specifications stroke features support targeting, or support targeting the right market audience in social media marketing process? So let me take that again. How does the value proposition or product design specification stroke features support targeting the right market audience in social media marketing? I think you answered this during the lecture, but if you don't mind, you can still shed more light on it.
Okay. During the time of Frata Ubi, he said something about keeping your hard contents short and straight to the point. I must confess that I need even dictionary to be able to understand the vocabulary here. You know, this is one of the challenges you have with social media. Don't make your grammar look so heavy, because you are looking at a mixed audience. So now the question I pick from this place now is basically about the right market audience. So if you followed through my practical, you saw where I was picking interest. At that point, if you are selling a product you know is actually for the exclusive preserve of the wealthy, there are audiences you may not want to go and choose from there. Okay, now let me not talk about class. Let me just talk about preferences. Let's say, okay, let us say for instance, now you want to sell iPhone 11. You know that it's worth about 300K and all those stuff. Would you prefer to go and stand somewhere in Munchi or Lagos, or open a kiosk somewhere like Oshodi to sell your iPhone 11? Or would you prefer to go to somewhere like maybe Lekki, Eco Hotel Roundabout, or at one corner in VG City, or at a corner somewhere in Aja? You know, you stand a better chance of meeting people that not just have the interest, but have the purchasing power to buy that product when you go to some location. So now, in terms of audience, you sell clothes. Maybe there are quite some fashionable clothes and all that. Designer clothes are quite expensive. You are not just selling something that covers nakedness. You are selling something that somebody wants to wear and make a statement for his or herself. So you need to probably look at audience that have interest in fashion, in online shopping, in health and beauty. That's what you can do. And then there's something also called lookalike audience. If I sell designer clothes and all those stuff, and I want to target audience, you have to first of all look at companies that sell such kind of clothes. You have like your Versace, your Gucci, your Prada, you have Nike, you have Adidas. Now, you can simply go to that place I wrote all those interests, where I wrote online shopping, and I can just go there and type Nike. You can just go there and type Adidas. You can just go there and type Gucci. And now what you're telling Facebook is that they should show your ad to people that have interest in Nike product, or people that follow Gucci.
Okay.
I don't know if I get my point. Like now, before we started that, you saw where I wrote Oriflame. I typed Oriflame because they are into multi-level marketing. They sell some beauty products. So whoever knows about Oriflame probably will at least respond better to my product.
All right. So okay, sorry to interrupt you. Please, can you stop sharing your screen? So that okay, I think you're done.
Yes,
That you've done that.
I've shut down my.
Okay, so this question, I think this question is directed to Ubin, but you can as well give an attempt. So from Apollonus Lodge, somebody said, should we always use controversial posts and ideas to trend, promote our ideas and brand on social media, considering the nature of things that go viral nowadays?
Okay, so
okay, fine.
Okay, so beloved moderator, yes, I know I've been going through the chat section here and I've seen the questions that are being asked. Yes, you don't have to use controversial posts. Remember, I included a disclaimer. I said, we are light bearers. We should be very careful of the content we put out there. Does it reflect who we are? Yes, who we are now as light bearers should determine the way we go about doing our businesses on the social media. We are not, for me, I think our integrity really, really matters. We are not all about business or the end justifying the means. That's how I see it. The end must not justify the means. You can actually use non-controversial topics and posts to promote your brand. The key there is just you pick a topic that promotes your brand, at the same time tickles the fantasies and the imaginations of your audience. The same person asked, can one run a Facebook page without having a personal account? No. Rule number one, have a personal account. From the personal account, you'll now be able to create a page, a business account. You'll now be able to create a page that you choose the nature of the business from it. So creating a page without having a personal account is like going to the CAC to go and register a business and you don't want to give you don't have an identity. So you must have an identity. That's your personal account. So for the library that asked still on the controversial post, is that how can one who is into animal business go viral and move up the ladder of brand popularity? We've discussed this at length in this session. Almost everything can be marketed on the social media, but you must understand that you have to build onto thyself a strategy. If you're into animal production, okay, animal production, for what? Are you producing the animals for sales? Are you producing the animal because you want to butcher these animals and support your kitchen business? What exactly are you into animal production for? Now, if you're into animal production because you intend to feed the nation, you intend to make people to have as in value in their food, eat good quality meat and the rest, you can actually build an advertising brand around you are what you eat. Okay, building a brand about is it increase in the proteinous content of your meal. You now use that to tell out to the fact that people should be, as in the fact that people should patronize animal farming, buying animals as in for the purpose of meat, as in buying those animal business or animal farm for the purpose of meat and the rest. So you have to understand, and sometimes you may not be able to do this alone. Okay, network, talk with people. All right, the LBA is a big family. You could see how deep Promise has taken us into explaining some of these things. All right, you could talk to Promise, you could talk to me, you could talk to Nefertiti, you could talk to Matthias. We have several persons that are knowledgeable about this. On the LBA groups, on our different platforms, you drop comments, you try people, there are people that will assist you to build that brand. That will assist you. Yes, you will do the hard work, but they will guide you to get these things right. And you go out there and you'll be able to drive the necessary traffic you want for your business.
All right, thank you. We're going to take just one last question and we'll move on.
Hold on, KY, please hold. Ubin and Promise, we have at Babatokwe Ogunowo, the Grand Council of Lagos Zone. His hand is up and he would like to ask his question directly. He's unmuted at the moment. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I hope you are hearing me loud and clear.
Loud and clear, sir.
We are hearing you, sir.
Okay, let me start by saying all protocols observed. The question I want to ask will be after a short comment, and the question will then be directed at our most worthy Grand Administrator. The comment is, I mean, this seminar has further strengthened the real import of our membership of our order. Like I had mentioned a couple of times, this present order that we have has brought to fore what we have been doing through the centuries. I've been doing so much virtually through our core activities even before COVID. So having said that, with this particular LBA seminar, some of us have been saying we are like LBA associates because we have tried in the past to follow as many LBA programs as possible. But this particular one gave me this thought, which I'm now directing to our most worthy Grand Administrator, that should we not, as adult members, have some programs like this, targeted at the older generations, such that what we are hearing today, because I thought I was a bit active, I mean, on the social media, but now with what we are hearing from our LBA active members, it seems we are still even behind them and maybe getting rusty. And we wonder, when we ask some of our older members to do a few things, even to open a simple WhatsApp account, you will be told, no, I don't know how to do WhatsApp. It will be too complicated. It will be too difficult. So if we can have some sessions to be handled by some select LBA members to put the older people on a good foundation about social media, especially the advantages of being active on the social media. Maybe a 2-day or 2 sessions. The first session to give all of us the basic foundational requirements to key into social media world. And then the second one to now go very practical. And then we treat all the very basic social media platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, Pinterest, all the rest, so that our older members can have the advantage of what our youths have today. And then I believe the quality of our membership, especially the membership of our older members, will actually improve. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. And I had asked this question, if the recording of these sessions will be shared to participants later, and if the presentations will also be shared. Up light bearers, keep the light shining.
Keep the light shining.
Keep the light
Keep
shining.
the light shining. Up light bearer.
Up light bearer.
Thank you very much, our Grand Chancellor, Dr. Gunawo. I can tell you straight away that you're on course. Can you hear me? Hello?
Loud and clear.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to be very certain that I'm addressing your question. The other comments can be can come on later on, but I want to tell you straight away that if for those of you who participated in the Mastery of Life, GS Forum Mastery of Life, I said exactly the same things, that the light bearers should please, in fact, addressing the adults, that they should please touch bases with the light bearers and be ready to go through the school of the new generation. It is an additional plus for us to be able to think, speak, and do things in line with how they are done by the new generation, with the provision that we also have the moral and ethical obligation to tell them to avoid misuse and abuse of any of these facilities available to them. Knowledge is a double-edged sword, so also the mobile devices that we have. They can be used positively or negatively, and it is imperative for us as Rosicrucian students to use them along the lines of light, life, and love. So certainly sessions are being planned out up to April or March next year, the new Rosicrucian year, and on Zoom, and the calendar will be released to our various affiliated bodies for this type of programs. Recall that we've been doing this with light bearers in the past, as well as with CIROC, under what we call skill acquisition. Each time we've had LBA seminars and CIROC seminars here in the park in Calabar, or in some of the zonal ones, a provision has been made, national coordinator, make sure that before we approve a program, there's a 1 hour, 1.5, 2 hours provision for skill acquisition by the light bearers, as well as by the CIROC members. And these have been very helpful, whether it's to do with dyeing or weaving or hair salons and so forth, transferals, and in more recent times at the level of the new generation devices, to our light bearers. So certainly, we hope that the adults will embrace this. A case in point is a long-standing soror who assured us here in the park that she will have nothing to do with online monographs and so forth. But by the time that she walked over and admin secretary, Frata Bonga Enika, and Ubim took her through the processes, she instantaneously, adopted and embraced the online monographs. And she still has her hard copy monographs, at least for a while. So we want those of the older generation to embrace the new generation and go back to school and interact with one another and learn these very simple, easy to use automated devices, for the purpose of enjoying the monographs and Rosicrucian studies in line with the thinking and practices of the new generation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, our most worthy Grant Administrator, for the response. And thank you, Tumba Babatokwe Ogunowo, Grant Councillor for Lagos Zone, for that question. And trust me, the light bearers, the younger persons are always available to put us all through. Over to you, my co-moderator, KY.
Thank you very much for that. So we still have questions pouring in, but because of time, we won't be able to take all. And some other people are also helping to explain further. So those that have questions can just hop on the chat and you can as well get some answers you require. So we're going to go on with our lecture. Remember, we're still looking forward to one more lecture, and we're also going to interact with the GA. So I advise you to stay tuned. Just 5 minutes. We'll take a break and we'll see LBA in pictures, just a moment, and we'll move on. Thank you.
So I do not know if we actually got the message from KY. I suppose he was experiencing a bit of network problems. But just to reiterate, he has stated that we still have another lecture, and right now we'll be going on break, and we'll see the LBA activities in picture/video. Please don't go anywhere. We still have two very interesting topics to deal with. One is being rejuvenated by practicing the overall body exercise, and of course the other is our most worthy Grant Administrator will talk to us for some time. Please don't go anywhere. Thanks.
Okay, not that zone. Last time, I like that. Okay, now. This is zone. This is zone. Don't tell me. Get out here, let's go. Come and give us a style. We will call you. Give us a style. That's why they're gonna come to Oh yeah, shaku shaku. Please come to the front and stand up. Come together and stand zone by zone. I got Lagos will take picture with
Okay, dear light bearers, distinguished fratres and sorors, I suppose we all loved that video. I recognized so many persons, and it reminded me of some music that I had forgotten, like Oya Phone, Ushuzondi, and all of those things. Okay, that was the first Light Bearers Association Carnival. It was held last year at the Rosicrucian Park, or the Peace Profound Park in Calabar. And I guess so many of us recognize ourselves in there.
Yeah, a lot of people, anybody that wasn't there won't be able to relate, but those of us that were there, it brought back a lot of memories. Okay, we're going to quickly move on to our next lecture, which is regenerating our being by the overall exercise. So this is also a very practical session and very short and interesting. So I'd like you all to listen closely. Over to you, Nev. Please, can you introduce our lecturer?
Okay. Mavi Utomudo Esquire has 13 years experience as a lawyer, human resources professional, and a professional negotiator and mediator. He is currently the head human resources and administration, Junior Achievement Nigeria, a part of Junior Achievement Worldwide, a non-profit organization with a mission to inspire and educate young people to become conscientious business leaders by implementing economic educational programs that develop attitude and skills necessary for personal success and social responsibility through the 3 pillars of entrepreneurship, which are work readiness and financial literacy. Let me take that again. He is currently the head human resources and administration, Junior Achievement Nigeria, a part of Junior Achievement Worldwide, a non-profit organization with a mission to inspire and educate young people to become conscientious business leaders by implementing economic educational programs and develop attitude and skills necessary for personal success and social responsibility through the 3 pillars of entrepreneurship, work readiness, and financial literacy. In 2013, Mavi joined in setting up Ecotrends BX International Limited, an indigenous company, as the head legal and human resources, where he was saddled with the responsibility of setting up the structure of the organization and lead a team that piloted Go Wedding Direct, Nigeria's first free wedding website, and an online gift list, and the Home and Property Expo. In 2010, he joined Jennifer Allied as the Group Human Resources Manager, where he managed the affairs of the group of companies over the country, spanning from sales of electronics, real estate, hospitality, and haulage. Mavi excelled over other candidates while interviewing for this job, even though he had no human resources work experience. He was particularly successful in this role as a result of the mentorship he gained from the Light Bearers Association. Mavi started his career as a customer service officer at the Corporate Affairs Commission, Calabar, during his National Youth Service Corps year. He proceeded to the law office of Paul Osarenkoy and Co. as a counsel in Chambers, where he practiced litigation for over 3 years. Mavi served as the secretary of the Light Bearers Association at Rojobikin Chapter, Benin City in Edo Delta Zone, and later national secretary for the Light Bearers Association, and is currently the coordinator of the Light Bearers Association at Lagos Island Chapter. Mavi Utomodo was born into a Rosicrucian family and has been through the ranks from junior order to adult membership. He has remained a member of our beloved order till date. He is married to his best friend, Laju, who is also of the Light Bearers Association alumni and a soror of our beloved order. Beloved light bearers, distinguished fratres and sorors, Mavi Utomodo Esquire, you're welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Okay, so I want to share my screen so that we can proceed. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so we will just proceed quickly. So we're talking about the overall body exercise and how we work with this to regenerate our entire body. So I had my first encounter with the overall body exercise as a junior order member in Benin City Lodge. Who as toddlers he took us through so many exercises, so many of which I can't remember reading any monograph even up to now, and that's why I had my first encounter with the overall body exercise. I want that for me, this is perhaps one of the most potent musical exercises to me personally. We'll just go through our slides. So just quickly, the creation of man. I want to give us a background, understanding why we consider the overall body exercise a very important one. So from the Bible, God created man in his image and likeness, and after creating man from the dust of the earth, he breathed life into him. So what did he breathe? He breathed life into man. So that gave birth to man. So without the breath of life, man did not exist after creating from the dust of the earth. So this will also explain when a child has to breathe life before he cries. So the composition of man. To understand that we have the God element in all of us. That is that breath of life that we have. We dwell in nature, and we're also true in nature. That is, we have the body and soul of man, and the body, mind, and soul on the other hand. So we're talking about the importance of air here. The human being can survive 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, but the human being can survive an average of 3 to 5 minutes without air. So we will not underestimate the importance of air to all living beings. So what is the philosophy of breathing? It is the absorption of gases. In that gas comes the contents, in the excretion circle, and the exchange of waste gas. So for every time we inhale, we take in the VLF, that's the vital life force. For every time we inhale, we are taking in that vital life force into our being. So what is the overall body exercise? In my days as a coordinator in Lagos chapter, I had cause to interact with some junior order members and light bearers. And even some members, it's surprising to know that some of these persons do not even understand what the overall body exercise is. So when I explained it to them, they were like, how come you have a very clear picture? I said, that is why I learned the overall body exercise, and that's what I have known. So what is it essentially? You need two things to do the overall body exercise clearly. You need visualization and exercise. Those are the two key elements you need to do overall body exercise. Visualization, you have your knowledge of biology clearly in your mind, the human anatomy, that you need to bring it to the fore. Perfect. And the breathing exercise. A combination of those, of both, the overall body exercise is complete. So what does it entail? It entails concentrating on different parts of your body, starting from the sole of your feet, preferably from the left foot,
Okay, as you take in deep breaths, you visualize a ball of light at the sole of your feet, left foot for a start, or if you weigh both feet. But left foot, you're taking a deep breath and you visualize these lights pulling upwards towards your knee. And exhale. Taking another deep breath, you pull this same ball of light upwards towards your thigh and exhale. While you are doing this, you see this part of your body coming to life. You feel this tingling sensation. Feel the warmth on this part of your body. Okay? You pull that up to your thigh. You go to the right foot. Take the same procedure up to your hip. You come to your right arm, your fingertips, see this ball of white light. As you take it up to your wrists, your elbow, your shoulder, the same process you go through with your right arm. Then you come to your sex organs, your abdomen. Now, within the abdomen, this is where I say your clear sense of biology comes in. You will want to see your 8-10 signs. Now, as you are kind of the body exercise, this ball of white light, what do you do with it? You use it to expel every form of pain, ill health, whatever it is, or just to regenerate your body. That may be it. So you take that up through your organs, up to your neck region. And as you do all of this, focus on all your glands as you do all of this. Then, having done the front, you go to the back from your base of your spinal cord up to your spinal cord, then come back to your front, your face, your jaw, your tooth, your face upwards. Then you go back to the back of your head. Then you should now see a ball of white at the center of your head, right between here and here, at the center. With one final breath, you now inhale and you see this ball of white light going about 2-3 inches above your head. When you exhale, you see it it was taught to me, like a shower running down from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. If you do this exercise regularly, you can get it done within 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, so that is the overall body exercise. So let's talk about the benefits of the overall body exercise. It improves our aura. For those who know, your aura is, let me just explain it let me go up, let me not go too mystical. You see some people walk into a place and they come in with that light. People walk into a place and everybody wants to meet them. You walk into a place sometimes and somebody tells you, I just like you, what do you do? It wasn't about how you dressed. You haven't said anything, by the way. You just came in and you just walked in, just took your seat. And people are drawn to you. So people have developed this psychic sense that they can even see people's aura. The concept of the aura is a different conversation. So with overall body exercise being conducted regularly, it improves your aura. It improves your mental and spiritual being. When we're in school, just before exams then in University of Benin, Professor John Ejodi would always come and we'll have musical sessions in the evening before exams. And he will always tell you, before you go to study, do the overall body exercise. Before you go into the examination hall, do the overall body exercise. Why did he always tell us that? Before you study, it increases your mental ability to read and understand. So some of us may not be in school now, okay? We are all out, maybe we are working now. So you are preparing for a report, okay? You are preparing for a project you are going to implement. You have a presentation you are going to do. It takes some time to think through the process and to put your concept together to present to the board for approval or your team members. So it increases our mental and spiritual abilities. And I would say again that when we're in school, then Prof. Idiodi will also tell us that there's a phrase he always uses. When you say, you say you're not in tune. So when you are in tune, if you do your Bible study, you're already in tune. Now, what that does for us, Christian mentioned yesterday, think of a service, think of a problem that needs solving. Sometimes people just go into meditation and they get that eureka, that aha moment. The overall body exercise does that for you a lot. It improves our psychic health, our physical health, sorry. A healthy mind turns out a healthy body. If you are healthy spiritually, you have a healthy body. Dr. Eda talked about stress. And in stress management, he mentioned three aspects that are relevant here. He talked about the breathing exercise, he talked about meditation, and the overall body exercise. Those factors reduces stress. So if those three things reduce stress, and the medical people here will bear witness that whatever reduces stress will bring about a healthy lifespan. Science has shown that a lot of illnesses we have come about from stress. So if you reduce stress, you have a longer lifespan. That's what the overall exercise can also do. It is one exercise we use when we commence any spiritual exercise. If you want to attune with the Council of Solace, Libra 777, or just a meditation, the overall body exercise is a very good start because it wakes up all the psychic organs of the body and brings you back alive. So, in a nutshell, that's the overall body exercise. I want us now to take us now through about 10 minutes. Let's conduct the overall body exercise. Let's be more practical this time around. Wherever you are, you may want to sit as quiet as possible. Both feet on the ground, slightly apart. Sit relaxed.
I'm sorry, Mavi, before you commence, kindly stop sharing your screen.
Okay, yes.
Thank you.
So if you can get our music, that will be fine. If you can get some music at the background, that would be great. Let us take in, sit relaxed. Taking a few neutral breaths. Let us see a ball of white light. Our left foot. Let us take in one deep breath. As we take in this deep breath, let us pull this white light up to our knee. Hold it for a while, then exhale. Now feel the warmth and the tingling sensation moving along with this white light. With another deep breath, let us pull this white light from our knee up to our thigh to our waist. So now move our concentration to our right foot. This ball of white light at the tip of our toes. Let us take in one deep breath and pull this white light up towards our knee. Hold it for a while, then exhale. With another breath, let us pull this light from our right knee up to our thighs to our waist. Let's come to our sex organs. Pull this white light up our waist. We shall now move our concentration to our left arm, left fingertips. Taking a deep breath and pull this light up to our wrist, to our elbow. Another breath, let's just now put this light from our elbow up towards our shoulder. Now move our concentration to our right arm and pull this light from our fingertips. One deep breath to our wrists, to our elbow. Let's now pull this light from our right elbow up to our shoulders. Now move our concentration to our body. From our waist, let us pull this light up to our solar plexus. And let's have a clear visualization of our internal organs. Our large intestine, small intestine, our bladder, our lungs, our kidney. Let us see all of our organs being energized. And see these white lights. If you have any pain or ill health, these lights infusing that part of your body. Another deep breath. Pull this light upwards towards your neck and focusing on your rib cage and your heart. Now move our attention to our back, starting from the base of our spine. When pulling these lights from the base of our spine upwards towards the base of our neck, let us see these lights going through our entire skeletal structure. Have this light now at the base of our neck. Let's now bring our attention to our face and pull this light from our neck, covering the front of our face. Let's now see our tongue, our teeth, nostrils, our eyes being engulfed by this white light. Let's now pull these lights from the base of our neck upwards and covering, let us see our brain being engulfed by this light. You are now one big ball of white light. Finally, see a ball of light at the center of your head. With one deep breath, I want you to pull these lights up a few inches above your head and see these lights run down like a shaft from the crown of your head straight down to the sole of your feet. Now return slowly to consciousness by moving the tip of your fingers, your feet, and slowly open your eyes. So that essentially is the overall body exercise. We want to take comments, questions, and we'll do our best to respond to them.
All right, thank you very much, Fatamavi, for that. Very straight to the point, a simple exercise that has very deep significance and effects. Just to remember, the benefits of this exercise improves your aura, puts you in tune. It has physical health benefits, reduces stress, and prepares you for spiritual exercises. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes and has effects that may last a lifetime. Thank you very much, Fata Mavi. Because of our time limit, we may not be able to take questions. You can actually drop your questions on the chat box, and Fata Mavi can respond to them there. Because of time, we'll just move straight forward into our next activity, which is a very big one. We all have the privilege of having our Wadi Grant Administrator and the Director of Supreme Board of AMOC with us. And now we're going to have a session with him. He's going to give us a closing remark, closing benediction, and we can interact with him. Thank you very much, Fatamavi. Welcome you, our Wadi GA.
Amos Wadi Grand Administrator, we are actually waiting for you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
it's raining in Calabar, and there will have been something interesting here. But first of all, I can say that on behalf of Grand Lodge, Sorry Duty, and the Light Bearers Executive, please accept our congratulations for the success of this meeting seminar, the meeting LBA webinar. We commend the LBA executive, the facilitators, and all those who ask questions or make comments. We also thank the various zonal coordinators, the affiliated bodies, members, and officers who assembled in our various temples of our order in groups or clusters to participate in these historic sessions. Up light bearers, up light bearers.
Keep the light shining. Up light bearers.
Up light bearers.
Yeah. Since yesterday, the presentations have been in
Please bear with us. The Most Wadi Grant Administrator had already informed us that it is raining in Calabar, and I suppose that is one of the reasons for the network glitch he is experiencing. So please bear with us while we wait for him. We can also take some other comments. This is for you, Fatamavi. Nathaniel Eteng stated, I did not feel like returning to my objective consciousness. I feel so great, thank you. And like I usually say, the overall body exercise summary for me is, it cleanses you of all impurities of mind and body. That is it for me generally.
Yeah, we also have a comment from Chris Akman, and he said, "Thank you, Frata Mavi." Also straight to the point.
Okay, so while we're waiting for our most worthy grant administrator to get back, let me just use the opportunity in appreciating some persons. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate the clusters on behalf of the Librarians Association, the National and Zonal ESCO, and the coordinators of the Librarians Association. I would like to appreciate the clusters at Thalys Lodge, Port Harcourt, putting together the Librarians in Port Harcourt, and of course, Centrum Lodge Abuja, I can see you from here, and Apollonius Lodge Calabar, as well as Eton Lodge Uyo. Would also like to appreciate the CIROC national executives who were present here yesterday and today. We're talking about the president for CIROC, Sarah Florence Wosu of Centrum Lodge, Vice President, Regional Monitor Emerita, Sarah Eunice Atta, and Sarah Justina Odiakose, the Financial Secretary from Kuthumi Lodge. And let's not forget, I've been seeing Frata Sekita Kianen, who is always present for all our online sessions, ranging from our grant administrators e-forum, and the CIROC online event, as well as this. Thank you so much, Frata Sekita Kianen. And Frata Joseph Essien of Eton Lodge, Uyo, you've been present with us since yesterday, and you have also been the Eton Lodge coordinator for some time now. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm ready for you.
Over to you, Daddy.
Yes, okay, thank you. First, apologies for the hiccups, technically. Since yesterday, the presentations have been very inspiring, uplifting, and yet very down to earth in practical terms. Frata Bimbo Oyedoku, a medical doctor dentist, in his presentation, reminded us that all human beings are descendants from previous generations, and our duty is to become good ancestors. He urged us to review our impact in our spheres of activity and to question ourselves as to what the next generation will inherit from us. He talked about our changing world and the need to move with the times by acquiring essential skills as well as the personal and business character relevant to this era and the future. Bearing in mind the relevance of mysticism with spiritual development as a goal, and ending with a quote from Marian Edelman, be a good ancestor. Stand for something bigger than yourself. Add value to the earth during your sojourn, unquote. Frata Oyedoku emphasized the need to do our best by giving and adding value wherever we are, and to accept responsibility for our lives and our destiny, whether we're in Nigeria or in those countries called the greener pastures. Frata Christian Idiodi, on the role of technology in the global job market, emphasized the concept of ideas as a basis for generating wealth in business, especially if the focus is on service to humanity. I mean, in terms of the alleviation of poverty, ideas that will offer job opportunities for humans and the improvement of the quality of life for all in various facets of societal growth and development. He emphasized personal perseverance and patience. Let me add, Librarians, that all ideas originate from the cosmic consciousness within us. And so the Rosicrucian principles of attunement with the master within, for instance, at the level of the celestial sanctum, can considerably be of great help to us at home, in business, and for success in every sphere of life. The inspiration we receive has to be translated into action, because action, as we all know, is the keynote in creation. According to Thomas Edison, success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. We have not seen in our lives, life bearers, any replacement for hard work or working smart, as we say nowadays. According to our secret book, Unto Thee I Grant the Economy of Life, diligence is the mother of fortune, unquote. Diligence is the mother of fortune. Frater Dr. Eder this morning addressed the webinar on stress management in the face of the global new normal. He explained the new normal in the light of the COVID-19 safety protocol of wearing masks, social distancing, etc. He defined stress and the efforts we should make to manage stress at the personal level and assist our children minimize the stress they are exposed to in their tender ages, this challenging era of time. Like bearers, there are Rosicrucian principles for managing stress, which include deep breathing exercises, as highlighted by Frater Dr. Eder, vowel sounds, meditation, prayer, and of course, the overall body exercise. In a brief interlude that followed, we enjoyed beautiful poems rendered by light bearers, Soro Obehi Omokwale of Centrum Lodge, Abuja. The social media marketing presentations by Frater Ubin Okunubin and Promise Anyanaso dwelt on the issues in vogue in your generation, and therefore spoke the language of your generation, which of course I cannot improve upon, in terms of how best you can enjoy and benefit from today's technology with your mobile devices at home and in business. Finally, just now, Frater Mavi Utomudo led us through the overall exercise known to Rosicrucians throughout the Amok world as the foundation for several mystical exercises that enhance our spiritual growth and development. Our dear light bearers, the ball is now in your court. The ball is also in my court. Indeed, the ball is in our court to internalize the principles we have learned and put them into practice wherever we are in the service of humanity. Having heard so much about today's youth in a changing world, the role of technology in the global job market, stress management in the face of global new normals, social media marketing, and the need to regenerate our beings, please make it a habit to diligently study the Rosicrucian monographs you have received so far and will continue to receive in order to acquire the inner spiritual technology that will make you even more successful and responsible as you grow up. Those of us who are your elders and parents have a lot to learn from you in this brand new era of new normals, an era of modern devices, and what is trending in the social media. Please share with us, as we also share with you, the morals and ethics that go with living in these times to avoid misuse and abuse of any of the devices that are trending in today's world. Stay clear from 419ers and Yahoo boys and Yahoo girls. Try as much as possible to remember that you have a light that you bear and which you must keep shining at all times. And those of you who are adults must recall and remember that you must keep the flag of our order flying higher and higher. On this note, I ask that you please sit relaxed wherever you are and turn your consciousness inwards to the center of your being. And let us unite in closing benediction. God of our hearts, God of our realization, in whose consciousness we live and move and have our being. In thy light may we see light, Give to us the consciousness of oneness with each other and with thee, that thy truth may prevail at all times, and that we may know the freedom of thy divine unity. Grant to us the knowledge of thy laws and the consciousness of divine service, and a desire to receive that we may give, knowing full well that we can only receive as we are ready and willing to give in service. We've had a wonderful time these 2 days with our light bearers and families, as well as, of course, officers and members of the Worldwide Rosicrucian Order AMOC, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Africa, and indeed from several parts of the world, including Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Europe, and the United States of America. May all who have participated and enjoyed this program see it as an obligation to share with the rest of the world the benefits of our knowledge, the light of knowledge and the illumination of wisdom. And may all our light bearers and indeed fratres and sorors of the Rosy Cross throughout the face of the earth ever be aware of the sacred light with which we are entrusted to dismiss and eliminate from humanity a darkness that surrounds us all these sensitive times by introducing the light of knowledge to expel and prevent humanity from the enslaving influence of fear, the shackles of superstition, and the sufferings of avoidable karma. May your divine grace and the benediction of the masters continue to abide with us now and always. So much it be.
So much
it be.
If you unmute as you did yesterday, I would like to also exchange pleasantries with the light bearers who we have missed very dearly in Rosicrucian Park in terms of their physical presence. But you know, our spirit is with each and all of you, wherever you are. And we can perceive the light we are sharing by the shared success of this program. Up, light bearers.
Keep the light shining.
Light bearers. Keep the light shining.
Up, light bearers.
Up, light bearers.
Okay, kindly do us a favor by muting back. Please mute. Thank you. Okay. So we have come to the end of today's event. When I mean today, I mean we've come to the end of this weekend's Light Bearers Association virtual seminar. But before we go, let's have it in mind that we'll still unmute the microphones for another 2 minutes. But before then, let us use the opportunity to appreciate every one of us. I would like to appreciate Frater Chris Appan, the regional monitor all the way from London, as well as the regional monitor for Apollonius Lodge, Frater John Omori, who has been seated all through. We would also like to appreciate the Grand Councillor for the Rivers area, Frater Edwin Obani, Otumba Babatokwe Ogunowo of the Lagos Zone GC, and Regional Monitor Emerita Olabimpe Giwa, Regional Monitor Emerita Soror Eunice Atta. We also have Regional Monitor for Talis Lodge, Soror Eunice Otete, and she is also the Councillor for the Light Bearers Association. Let us also not forget the Grand Councillor of Centrum Lodge, Frater David Wategire, as well as Regional Monitor for Centrum Lodge, Frater CJ Ipa. And of course, to the LBA alumni, I see you all, Frater Stephen Ikezao, our pioneer member of the LBA, past presidents we have here present, Frater Chikezie Okorie, Dr. Bimbo Oyedoku. We have Eze Dafipako all the way from the United Kingdom, Dr. Pedi Obani from Accra, Ghana, as well as Mabil Tomodo and Laju. I can see both of you, your faces, Fortune Didam, Alfred Idiodi, Christian Idiodi, all the way from the US. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. We would also not forget our facilitators, Bimbo, Christian, Dr. Eda, Ubin, Promise, Mavi. Thank you so much. And of course, our light bearers in diaspora, how can I forget you? I can see you in that yellow shirt, Ihioma Okore, all the way from Cambridge, England. And we have the Omukwes, Zil and Alicia, all the way from New Zealand. Thank you so much for joining, because I understand from your location in New Zealand, you guys are 11 hours ahead. That means 11 a.m. here is 10 p.m. over there. So thank you for neglecting sleep. And then to the National and Zonal ESCO of the Library Association, thank you for this beautiful outing. And to the English West Africa administration team, as well as the technical team, you have been superb, as always. Then to our national coordinator, Chief GB Idiodi, and Deputy National Coordinator, Regional Monitor Sam Ofoyandi, thanks for the mentorship. Thanks for the mentoring roles you have played in our lives and the lives of the present light bearers. Thank you so much. And to our most worthy grant administrator, you are our inspiration, and we thank you for allowing us to utilize this platform for our seminar. We also appreciate the presence and the words, the kind words from our Grandmaster, Frater Steven Johansen, all the way from the United Kingdom. So on behalf of my co-moderator, Nonso Nandi KY, and myself, Nefertiti Ohimai, we thank all the attendees and appreciate your effort. Thank you for a superb seminar and wishing us all a fruitful week. So now we'll unmute and we can have other pleasantries for 2 minutes.
A break for 2 minutes.
Yes, 2 minutes.
1, 2 is over.
All right, bearers. Sammy, I can see you were driving.
Jack easy.
Alpha.
I
forgot to hide my video.
Father talking.
Chioma.
Uncle Steve.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mama.
Everybody.
Like this afro. Like
Keep the light shining.
Congrats.
Up light bearers.
Keep the light shining.
Please have a wonderful year. The pandemic will soon be over. We see our up again and have our Easter lunch next year.
We'll have double lunch next year.
They have
for this year and next
year. I go boss too.
Thank you.
That's my own to you.
Where are these light bearers? You're no longer talking.
God bless you. Stay well.
Okay.
Are you talking to us?
Yes.
La la la, how are you?
Mommy.
Wow. And my people did not bring the lunch. I want to say hi. One of them went off. Everyone.
Your background, are you in the place?
I'm in the plane zone.
Is it where are you?
I'm somewhere in outer Earth orbit.
Now this chicken is background that we won't use yesterday. We know.
The laptop, Swabi.
Before the laptop say not the compatible.
Eze, is this
you? You are not in the place. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
You have to.
Oh, that's the problem. Oh, I
Yes.
see. I see now.
The password.
This kind of things to work.
Just anyhow access. Right.
No, wait, Chicken, where are you?
No,
Obviously.
Have you all signed the attendance register?
It is because of that background.
It's the place. Forget that thing.
Thank you. I agree.
You know, see the text I went to the
This bad boy used that laptop crash yesterday, so it's not. It never reached
People
there.
that was not in the plane.
He has not
You
to
want
that point.
You want to use it.
This is an order. Don't do an order. You don't just move.
Hey, Oma, how you doing?
People slow down. Just you will get there. Maybe by next year. You study very hard.
I can't hear you.
No, I guess
Your mic is muted.
we'll chat to privately to get the connection.
No problem. Oh, wow.
It's a one.